Hey guys, Christian from Shasta Films back here again today doing another product review, but before we get to that, be sure to check all links in the description to all of our social media and any products that I mentioned in this video. And also while you're here, be sure to check out all of our short films. I'll have a link to the playlist for that in the description as well. And then also up here in the info card, or maybe over here, whichever one it was. I don't remember. So we'll figure it out later. But anyway, so be sure to check all those out and also consider subscribing so you can get more of our weekly content and our short films. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So today we're going to be talking about the Canon 50mm prime lens. And, well, this little guy right here. So let's go ahead and get started off with the specs. Obviously, it's a prime lens, so it's going to be a fixed focal length. This one is at 50mm. Not a bad focal length. Of course, it also has an f1.8 aperture, so it can get very wide open, get you that nice cinematic blurry background, or even just work better in low light solutions, or situations rather. It's small and compact, as you can see, also known as a pancake lens for that reason. It has a 49mm filter thread and a stepping motor for that autofocus to keep it nice and quiet. It's considerably sturdy build, still plastic of course, but once again, it's a considerably sturdy plastic, fairly decent quality. And you know, this is more optimal for photo rather than video. So let's go and start off with the cons of this. Obviously, the fixed focal length can kind of be a turnoff for some people. I myself do enjoy it to some aspects, but I'll go over the negatives of it first. So, of course, you have to move yourself to get the right distances within your frame and get everything looking how you want it. But, you know, of course, you don't have the zoom in or out function for that, so you have to actually move yourself and the camera to get it to work the way you want it to. And it also causes the lens to be a little too zoomed in the 50mm specifically. It causes it to be a little too zoomed in for any sort of vlogging or intimate video like this. Like right now, I've got my kit lens on 18mm just to get this shot. So if I were on 50mm, it would be really zoomed up into my face, and I don't think you guys want to see that. So anyways, a little bit too much for that. So it's a little bit more for photo than anything. Of course, there are certain videos that you can use it for, but I wouldn't highly recommend it. Of course, that 49mm filter thread, that's kind of a downside for me because my kit lens is a 58mm, and that's what I have all of my filters set to, so I have to... of course, it's a simple fix that you can do by just getting a step-up ring, which I'll leave a link to in the description, just a 49mm to a 58 if that's what you guys are rocking on, because I believe most kit lenses for Canon cameras these days are the 58mm, but I could be wrong on that. So, then the autofocus, I've seen a lot of good reviews on the autofocus on both Amazon and YouTube, but for me personally, I haven't had much good luck with it. It's always still pretty blurry whenever I turn on the autofocus. And, you know, I double check all my settings, make sure that they're all correct and everything, and the autofocus still is just always off enough to kind of irritate me, so I usually just flip it back on to manual focus and fix it myself. So that's just kind of a problem for me. I don't mind it all that much because I honestly myself prefer manual focus anyways, but there are situations where I would like to have that autofocus, and if it's not exactly reliable, then, well, I'm not a huge fan of that. But anyways, so that's all I really have for the downsides of this lens, so let's go ahead and get on to the pros. So like I said before, I like and dislike the fixed focal length. You know, I've already told you why I disliked it, but the reason I like the fixed focal length is because it opens your mind to more creativity with the fact that you're limiting your options on your technology and all of this all these electronics and whatnot and lenses. You know, if you limit yourself on your options for all those, it kind of gets your brain thinking more of like, how can I get this to look the way I want it and have the feel that I want it to have. So using a fixed focal length can definitely help with that. This isn't just specific to this lens, but any sort of prime lens like a 24mm or, you know, just any sort of prime lens will definitely get that creativity flowing a little bit more because you have to think that much harder about how to get it the way you want it. And of course, with this 50mm focal length, it's great for photography. I've been able to get a lot of normal everyday things in great shots with this 50mm here, and not even really having to adjust myself that much, honestly, because it's still fairly good for photo. Just once again, when you're doing that more intimate video where you're closer up to the camera like I am right now, then it's a little bit more rough. So, and of course, this is also lightweight and compact, as you guys can see. So realistically, you could fit this and another small pancake prime lens together in your camera bag and have it take up about the same amount of space as like my kit lens would, for example, which is an 18 to 55mm. So that's pretty nice. You can fit two lenses for the price of one, honestly. So that is kind of nice, and having it be lightweight also, you know, doesn't add too much weight to the camera, so you can go handheld for a little bit longer before your hands actually start hurting all that much. And of course, it has a great manual focusing system. So I mentioned that I didn't really like the autofocus that much, but the manual focus is great. I can get it focused on exactly whatever I want when I have that wide open aperture. And then, of course, if I want to close it down, get everything in focus, it's great. So either way it works. Once again, it's just that autofocus that anyways has some trouble with me, or for me. So, and, having this wide open aperture, obviously, gives you so many more options. So you can get that blurrier background effect, kind of like what I have right now with this, but even blurrier than that, because this is only like half as wide as this would be if I had this all the way open. So I'll do a quick comparison, flash a couple of photos here on screen for you guys to see the difference between a 1.8 and a 3.5 aperture, which is actually what I'm using right now on my kit lens is a 3.5. So it's both going to be on this lens, but that way you guys can see the comparison between the two and how the blurred background effect. So my overall opinion is this a great starter lens to buy other than your kit lens. For photography, at least for video, not so much. If you're going for video, I'd probably lean more towards a 24mm or maybe one that actually doesn't have a fixed focal length, has that range. So you'd be losing some aperture there, but you'd at least have more options and have better chance for video. So I'd probably go for either a wide angle with a range of focal lengths or a telephoto, because usually your kit lens kind of covers that in-between area. So, and of course, while like this has its tweaks like everything else in this universe, it does have its upsides. And for me, those upsides are enough to balance it out and even go beyond that and just make it a lens that I love. I've loved every second that I've used this lens. And, once again, I've listed the few downsides, but really that's it. I haven't found much for this. And for the price you're getting it at, it's actually really worth it. This lens is only $125 on Amazon. Once again, links in the description so you can go check it out. But, I found the price very well worth it for this lens and with what I've been able to get out of it so far. So, but yeah, I believe that's everything for this review, guys. So thank you all for stopping in once again. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content, and also check out all of our social media. Once again, links in the description. All right, guys, that's it for today. Peace out.